Hi, Bracha.
Hi there.
How are you?
Wonderful. Thank God. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Welcome to the show. Bracha Goetz in the house. Nice to finally meet you.
Yay. Happy to be here.
So, where are you coming to us from today?
I'm in I'm in Israel.
You're in Israel at the moment. So, you have a Jewish heritage, correct?
Yeah. Right.
That's quite cool. That is why I'm saying it's cool is because it's the first time I've actually had a Jewish author on the show. So it's the
Wow,
first time for
wonderful.
me. I
Wonderful.
love it. I love being so diverse, and I love having people from different backgrounds coming on to the show. It's absolutely great. I love it. Thank you so much for taking up the time on a Sunday morning for you to come onto the show. I got no doubt we are going to have a phenomenal chat dedicated to children and parents as well, right?
Yeah, really anybody. Anybody could benefit. Yes.
Kraka, you are an Harvard educated best-selling author with over 40 books to your name till date. Wow, that's phenomenal. That's
Thank
phenomenal.
you.
Like, that's a lot of books. I mean, that's inspiring for any independent author that's listening to the show now or up and coming author listening to the show. That is phenomenal. I mean, for some authors to get to 10 can seem like such a long journey, yet you are here now with 40. So, wow, congratulations. I just want to say congratulations on that. And
Thank
I'm
you
sure
so
there's more
much.
to come.
Thank you. Yeah, we're working on some more right now, but the thing is most of my books are not long. They're not like long, big books. They're kind of
Yeah,
short
yeah,
and to the point. Yeah.
yeah. What stands out for me, Braca, is look, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. We were all children once upon a time. But when I looked into your work, it's not your typical bedtime story for kids. Like your work, the niche and the market you are dedicated to, which is children, there's a bigger purpose behind it in order for children to grow healthy both in mind and body. So, how did it all start for you to develop this purpose to push out that message to the world?
Thank you. That's a great question. Um, my goal was to write the books that I wished I had as a child. Books that explain what life is about, what's the purpose of life, and how do we live the most joyful life possible. So I give children happiness skills as early in life as possible. And when you start off like that, then you're going in a good direction for the rest of your life. So that's been my goal, and that's what I've been accomplishing. And like you said, um, I'm helping children to have both a healthy body and a healthy soul and a healthy
Yeah.
mind, like all the parts, and they have to all be integrated. So my background was in public health. Um, as an undergraduate at Harvard, I studied at the Graduate School of Public Health and and at Harvard Medical School. And I was always interested in public health. So a lot is about part of being able to have your soul shine fully. You also need a healthy body. So I'm totally into helping children achieve both of those things.
So you transitioned from medical into writing. But I mean, there's definitely a link there because I'm sure, while being like in the medical field, like mental illness may have played a role, with children,
Yeah.
that actually, contributed to your work. And it's so critical in this day and age. You mentioned like the types of books you wish you had when you were growing up. At what age was that made you realize the material I'm consuming now is not helping me grow?
At age 12, I I finished reading the diary of Anne Frank, and I started my own diary. And when I found my diary, I that's how I ended up compiling the one book that I wrote for adults as my memoir, the story about the course of my life and how it changed. Um, and it's called Nourish the Soul, filling the emptiness within, because the emptiness started at age 12. Up until then, I wasn't aware. You know, when you begin adolescence, you get like an increased consciousness. And that's when I began to wonder about the purpose of life. Like, what are we here for? What's this all about? Yeah. And I
Yeah,
began
yeah.
desperately searching more and more desperately. And along the way, I developed food addictions, like eating disordered behavior, and it got worse and worse. I would say it got worse when I was at Harvard, and I reached the lowest point in medical school. I was like doing like really bizarre behaviors, and nobody knew, because when you have an addiction, you put a ton of energy into hiding your addiction, so nobody knows how you're suffering. So I looked successful on the outside, but inside I was becoming more and more miserable. And an addiction is like a prison, and the walls get narrower and narrower as you get more and more into your active addiction. So life became really horrible for me. It the addiction took up my energy, my intelligence, my creativity. It absorbed everything about me. And so I ended up going to Israel after my first year of medical school, and I found there the spirituality that I was searching for, that finally filled me up. And what I want to say is the basis of that spirituality is gratitude. Learning to be grateful and see the abundance of blessings in our lives at every moment. Because before that, I was just taking everything for granted, wondering what's the purpose of this all. Finally, when I began to appreciate, the whole world changed from gray, and the colors came back. The colors came back into the world, and I began practicing gratitude, and that's when everything began to change. Gratitude is what fills that hole, because
Mhm.
when we're in addiction, we're desperately trying to fill it with externalities. And that only makes the hole get deeper, because it's not a physical hole, it's a spiritual hole. And only gratitude can fill that hole.
That is so powerful. Wow. And that is really powerful, but you are so correct. I mean, 1000% on point. Human nature, right? You know, we always want more, more, more. And we're not living in the present and looking
Yes.
at what we do have right here in front of us today, you know.
Yes.
And I can closely link this, you know, with the work that you do when I look at Gen Zs, for example, in 2025, and in this era of social media and these expectations that the younger generations and kids, even as young as 8, 9, 10, you know, what they're consuming online, you know, they're chasing that. And for me, I feel it's like really not healthy for them growing up. And we just got no control of it at the moment. You know, parents don't have control of it. Educators don't have control of it. Educational institutions don't have control of it. And I feel it's just going to be so disastrous if we don't put a grip on this with the kids of
Yes.
today. You know,
Exactly.
like, yeah, You know, one of my other podcasts is called Talking Back to Suicide, and it's crazy the suicidal rates starting from 10 years old.
Yes.
It's crazy figures, that you are not going to see on the mainstream news unless you go and actually search it for yourself. It's crazy what's happening with our kids today, but at least we have, authors and individuals such as yourself that are addressing these issues and
Yes.
helping children.
Yes, we need to start as early in life as possible. We can always play catch up. Thank God we have neuroplasticity in our brains. We can rewire our brains and become more grateful people. We can always change at any moment. But if we start with children, then their lives can be heading in a joyful direction from the very beginning. So, like one of my books, it's very popular. This book came out recently. It's called The Mother Who Always Said Yes, and
Yes.
it's flying off the shelves in the bookstores. They keep ordering more because people are loving it. It's a fantasy. It's a child's fantasy come to life. Whatever they want, they could have. Sure, sure. And they do it, and there's no rules. You could do whatever you want. Every child fantasizes like this, but you
Yeah.
see the reality. In this book, you see how things get worse and worse and worse. The illustrations are amazing. They're hysterical. And things just get so out of hand. And the book never says that there's a problem with this. But the child, in fact, you're saying, oh, won't this be great? This will be terrific. The words don't match the pictures. It's a really interesting book. But and when the children see the pictures, then they realize the bugs get all over everything. It's disgusting to just be eating junk all day long. Like, what would happen if you really got, and you could buy anything you want and there's no room for it and you're tripping over everything and you don't enjoy anything you have and everyone can fight with each other. It doesn't matter if you get hurt. Things just get worse and worse. You don't have to come home at night. I mean, there's no, what would you like? And by the end of the book, all the children realize when they're reading it, no, I want rules. I need limitations. I see why it's good. This is helping to joyfully eliminate the entitlement epidemic. That's what you were describing. That's what's taking over our society, and we can turn it back. We
Yeah.
we don't have to live like that.
My mother who always said yes was actually one of the books, that I wrote down that I wanted to ask you about. And you had
Yeah.
already brought them up. Because I mean, the title, tells it all. Mothers do have a tendency of always saying yes to their children, right?
Yes. Yes.
No,
Yes.
whether they can afford it or not, they have a tendency of always saying yes. So, what's your opinion on that? Why do mothers always have the tendency of always saying yes? The love factor, I can bring that in, out of love. Yes, I'm saying yes. It's my daughter, it's my son. But what's your thoughts on that? Why do mothers always have the tendency of saying yes?
Out of fear, they won't like me, or let's say I'm so busy. At least I can say yes to them when I'm around them. It doesn't make any sense. It's not helpful to a child. A child needs boundaries. Um, and in fact, we can help children appreciate. Like one of the things I teach parents is when you hand something to a child, don't let go of it. You're holding it, they're holding it, and you have a smile on your face. Why is my mother not letting go of this piece of paper or this crayon or this glass of water? What's going? Oh, oh, thank you, thank you. That's all, and then it's suddenly released. And they realize, but you're smiling, it's not serious, it's playful. And they develop the habit really quickly of feeling gratitude, saying thank you, not just taking things for granted. Any little thing that we give them. It I learned that it takes 400 repetitions to instill a new habit, to create new synapses in the brains. 400 repetitions. But if we do it playfully and joyfully, we can take on a new habit 10 to 20 repetitions. That's all you need. And you can help a child or yourself develop new good habits.
Yeah, yeah. So critically needed. And what would you say, like your work versus the traditional system, right? How do you go about, convincing parents to take, your route on how to go about raising their children versus the traditional way of doing it? And I also want to add to that, as the generations have unfolded, like when we were kids, and we wanted something and our parents said no for whatever reason. Okay, look, we can't afford it. There's children who would have thrown a tantrum, because they're not used to getting told no. And then there was violence involved. We would parents would hit their children. I'm going to say it in the basic terms possible. It's not child abuse, but it was a different generation,
Right.
versus 2025. What's your take on, like, how do we get, parents to start going towards your way of doing it versus the traditional way? Does it become challenging?
I want to say the main ingredient is joy. Fill your homes with joy. Um, I'm going to tell you about another book. This also is one of my newest books, The Happiness Box. Um, the Happiness Box is about a boy who's never happy with anything he gets. And one day his parents get a washing machine. I want something for me. Why are you always getting everything? So his father gets this idea. The box that the washing machine came in, he's going to make it into a happiness box. And he tells his son, you go inside this box. You can only think happy thoughts inside this box. Okay, I'll give it a try. He goes inside the box and he starts thinking of, I guess I like my sneakers. My sneakers aren't bad. I guess I have a bunch of toys I like. And he starts thinking of and some food that he likes. He starts thinking of different things. He gets in the habit of feeling grateful for some things in his life. Then, whenever he's miserable, he goes back inside the box and starts practicing gratitude. He gets really good at it. One day, he's on a bus and he's feeling really lonely, like he's with other people, he doesn't really know them. And he says to himself, what am I going to do? I don't have my box with me. And that's when he realizes we always have a box. It's here. It's above our eyes, below our hair. There's a happiness box in your head, you see. It's a happiness box if you let it be. But if you're scared to use your head, just get a cardboard box instead. You could begin by practicing with your box. But once you realize this is where it really is, that is the secret to having a joyful home. Practicing gratitude as early in life as possible. And when the parents practice it, they're role models for their children. And it becomes easier and easier to for children to adopt it when they see their parents doing it. And there's nothing to lose by being grateful. Any minute that we spend being grateful is a moment that we're not being miserable, because you can't have those two emotions at the same time.
That's a clapping moment. You know, that's a clapping moment. I'm so grateful to have Bracha on the show right now. How's that? How's that?
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
know, that's my moment of gratitude right now.
Thank you.
Wow. You know, I feel like I'm a kid again and I want to read your book,
Oh.
you know, for your
Oh.
books. Because, like, how you're explaining it, right? It's like, it's not only to, train children, educate them to practice more gratitude, but also adults who are failing to practice gratitude. And we see that a lot as well happening. I've had my moments in life as well, you know, being on a podcast or having my own podcast and having my own business and the frustrations you can go through at times. But then you just need to like center yourself, be in the present, say, okay, I'm grateful, I'm thankful. Today I got a roof. Today I got a bed. I got food to eat. Tomorrow's another day. I'm gonna give it a
Yes.
shot. I'm going to try
Yes.
again. You know?
Yes.
You know?
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah, but you see, like I had to learn all these things as an adult, and what you are
Yes.
doing is going to change the whole dynamic of the future to come.
Yes. It is
That is
change.
wow. You
Yes.
know? That is
Yes.
wow.
We're all a part of this. You're a part of it. I'm a part of it. Everybody that's helping to make this world a better place. We're all a part of this. We're so blessed to be
Yeah.
alive right now. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So while we on your books, there's another book that caught my attention. Let's be honest. What's that?
Okay. Oh, it's about the importance of being honest because we we unfortunately learn many ways to sneak around. Oh, like maybe if I say uh, I'm older than 5, they'll let me go on this ride. Whatever. It can start really young, and you could get away with it, but it's not good for your soul. It's just not. It puts a covering on your soul. This is how I describe. We 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 all have a soul. It's like a shining light, and when we do things that are wrong, you know, it puts a covering on it, and then we don't feel that shining way about ourselves anymore. And what do? We have to nourish our soul. One of the main ways to nourish it is through living a life of gratitude and joy. And also sometimes we need support from the outside, like you give support to people to help them remove those layers that we put on the beautiful light. We each have a beautiful light. Everyone that's alive right now is here for a reason, because they have a special hue, a special color that nobody else can shine this light the way they can. So when we are not honest, for instance, or do other things that are wrong, it dims that light. And again, we need to nourish it in order to live joyfully. I have books about let's swim safely. I have books about let's stay healthy, books about preventing abuse for children. Again, because these are all things that help our souls to shine fully. Having healthy bodies, being appreciative of all the amazing fruit and vegetables that we have. I mean, each one is a gift. This
Yeah.
an orange is such an amazing gift if you mindfully appreciate it. Then you don't just take it for granted. Like the trees, when a fruit is on a tree, it's green until it's ready for us and it becomes this bright and beautiful color. It's calling to us, I'm ready now. And then, so it's beautiful to look at, smells beautiful. And with an orange, like the sweet juiciness is kept in for months just for you. The orange that you hold in your hand, it was a gift made for you. And when you experience it, you take off the individual wrapping and you eat it, and then afterwards you're left with the seeds of eternity, designed to become infinite more trees, infinite more oranges. It's so packed inside of one orange is infinite loving kindness, and infinite intelligence just for you.
Wow. Wow, that was a good explanation. Yeah, yeah, well, I've never thought about that myself. Wow. Especially
Yeah.
down to the seed, and then the seed just, develops into more of that
Yes,
orange, into more love and kindness. Look, I mean, when it
exactly.
comes to the word honest, and kids being dishonest, it's like natural. But then we also look at, who influences that as well. A kid,
Yes.
none of us were ever born dishonest. Unfortunately, we just live in a dishonest world, right?
Right.
I recall having a conversation, and it wasn't on the podcast. It was, someone I just ran into on the street, and he was like, Kino, when I look at the world, everyone is dishonest, whether they want to believe it or not. And then I said, okay, give me an example of it. And he says, okay, let me take a business owner, for example. He would hire someone, but then he would negotiate to pay that person a lower rate than what is actually due to that person for the work done. And that made sense to me. So if you know the work that that person is doing is worth $100, why are you paying him $30? Then that clicked. Like, okay, makes sense. So even the most honest person ever can also be dishonest. They just don't know that they're being dishonest, you know?
Yes.
So we living in those times, we've always been living in those times. And now we're just trying to teach kids to be as honest as possible, which can be difficult, can be hard. Who hasn't lied to their parents, right? You know, we've all done it. There's another book. Don't read this book.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very popular book.
Yeah.
I'm teaching children how to outsmart the inner critic. There is always a voice inside of all our heads. We think we're the only one, but this is letting children know every one of us has a voice inside of us getting us to focus on what we're missing, what we're lacking. The minute we recognize that voice, we can overpower it and say, oh my gosh, it's you trying to make me miserable again from morning till night. We have this voice. The, as soon as you recognize it, it loses its power. And then you can focus on what you already have instead of what you're missing. This changes lives completely. It's called Don't Read This Book because it's written in the voice of that inner critic, that inner voice that's telling you to focus on what you don't have. Don't read this book or you're going to find out my secrets. And in this book, you find out the secrets that's working on making you miserable. You can overpower it. It's the secrets to happiness is in this book. How to overpower that voice that's talking to you all day that's trying to make you miserable.
Yeah. I'm just thinking the title like it's like reverse psychology. It's
Yeah.
like if you tell a kid, don't go in that room, they're going to
Yes.
go in that room. So
Yes.
you telling them, go
Yes.
read this book. Okay, I'm going to read this book.
Exactly.
Which
Exactly.
is fun.
That's how it works. That's how the inner critic work. It's constantly trying to trick you and it gets into different disguises. It knows your weaknesses. It knows exactly how to get to you and make you miserable. But now you have the power to overcome it. Um, it'll tell you, like, you're not going to eat the whole cake. Just have a tiny piece of this cake. Okay, just have one more tiny piece. Well, it goes like that. It knows just how to get to you. So you could say the exact opposite. I'm just going to exercise like for 2 minutes. That's all. Okay, I'll
Yeah.
exercise 10 more. You use the same tricks and you're the winner.
Smart. Very, very smart. Raka, As a parent in 2025, okay, I'm not a parent myself, but for the parents listening to the show, how do we grow with our children instead of dictating to our children, to
Oh,
our expectations and our demands?
yeah, very nice. Very nice. How do we grow with our children? First of all, it's a secret that children's books are written for children, but they're also written for the adults who are reading the books to the children. And could it be grandparents reading the books to the children? And teenagers, they pick up the books when no one's looking, and they also get the message in the books. So it's a very powerful way to reach every age level. Most people don't realize this. If you want to make major changes in the world, this is how you do it. You help children from the beginning of life, and you're reaching every age group at the same time. So if you're reading these books, you are growing along with your children. You're getting the same exact messages as your children. And as I
Yeah.
explained before, the trick in life is to do things joyfully. If you take everything seriously, then your ego gets involved. You're afraid of failing. No, it it be playful like a child. Have that sense of wonder about life. They have found that when we're in a state of wonder and and appreciating life with awe, then
Yeah.
we have the best, like, immuno fighting immuno the chemicals in our body that give us immunity to diseases are at their highest level when we're in the state of awe and wonder. We are in our healthiest. Um, it helps us fight off illnesses actually as well. It's good for us physically, mentally, and spiritually to to be in that very positive state of appreciating life. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Which we don't, we take it for granted. And I'm sure, you just as me, we've all been guilty of it at some point in our life, just taking life around us for granted, just sticking within the system and how it was designed. And there's just so much unhappiness out there in the world right now because people, have not taken the route that you are suggesting, to take and just live life. Stop dying inside while you're still alive.
I think you must have done that too. You rewire your brain. You can
Yeah,
do it at any point. And that's what's so amazing because every moment counts and you get used to it. When you practice gratitude with an orange, it begins to extend to other things in your life that you've taken for granted. You
yeah,
start with the small things and it creates rewiring so that your brain actually becomes a happiness box. That's that's how it works.
yeah. And as the law of attraction goes, the more gratitude you show for what you do have, more abundance will come your way. I
Exactly.
remember, before I started like really just sitting down and living in the present and showing gratitude for what I do have in my life. Like I love each and every single morning to get up and go for a jog. And there was a period in my life where it should just be like, jog back home, jog back home. These days, now when I'm jogging, so I'll like split it up, I'll start walking, then I'll jog, then I'll walk. But during the period of walking, these days I'm now walking as slow as possible and I'm just looking at
Wow.
everything around me. I'm
Wow.
looking at the leaves, I'm touching the trees, I'm
Wow.
looking at the grass, I'm even looking at the road, you know. And now, in South Africa, the season is changing now. We're going back into our summer months and spring and so on. And now the trees are getting green again. And, you know, I've monitored the trees from the winter months into now the summer months, how it went from dry to green and it just brings so much joy to my soul, you know.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm enjoying that. I look up at the sky, at the sun, and I give gratitude for that. It brings just so
Wonderful.
much calmness to my life. So I get where you're coming from. Um, this question is twofold. What should what should children be thinking about right now? Say age between 10 and 16, for example, or even younger. And B, what should adults be thinking about right now in 2025 in the world that we're living in, where there's
Well,
always so much chaos going on, around us. You know, I know it comes back to gratitude, you know, but what should we be thinking about right now from a 10-year
everything
old at home?
everything comes back to gratitude. That's my secret. Everything. That's our whole purpose for being here. Could you imagine? Nobody ever told us that. That changes everything. I mean, there's that's really our entire role here to in, to experience the greatest pleasure possible in life. And that's not hedonistic. The way to experience the greatest pleasure possible here on earth is by being grateful, seeing the gifts, seeing the abundance. Like you said, we attract abundance by being grateful. It's because it becomes abundance. In other words, we could be living the exact same life we were living the moment before. But when we see it through eyes of gratitude, it suddenly changes from a life of scarcity, focused on what we're missing, to a life of abundance, filled with all that we have, grateful for all that we have. It's and it doesn't stop us from producing at all. In fact, it gets our creativity flowing even more when we are fueled by gratitude. It keeps us joyful and creative and wanting to help other people. When our cups are full, then they're overflowing to help other people as well.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for answering that. Like each question that I've asked you, in the last 37 minutes, your answers have been like phenomenal.
Oh,
Phenomenal.
thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you right back. That's also, so important. Just giving thanks to each and every single person you come across every day.
Yes,
Giving thanks to God, the higher powers, to say thank you. Thank you that I'm alive. Thank you that I can walk. Thank you that I got water. You know? Thank
exactly.
you. So
And
welcome.
seeing what's wonderful about every person,
Yeah.
seeing the light inside of everybody, appreciating it. Right.
Appreciate it. Yes, yes. So to conclude, Bracha, you want to tell us about growing impact publications?
Yeah, my youngest children started this company. I'm not a business kind of person. I'm an ideas person. I just love sharing my ideas in the world. So my children, um, I, I was published by regular publishing companies up to my 40th book. And with my 40th book, my children decided they want to be my publishers now. So that's Growing Impact Publications. And we love working together. Now it's a family enterprise, all of us working together, enjoying being creative together. So anyone that wants to visit the website, my children will love it. They've worked really hard on it. And I just encourage people to explore everything there. Thank you.
Well, I've been on the website and it's a really cool website.
Thank
So I
you.
figure,
Thank you.
well done to your children. I mean, this is legacy in the making, This is
Thank God.
legacy in the making. You've gotten your children involved with your mandate, with your purpose. It's in the bloodline and they're helping you to grow it and get this message with your work to the world, you
Thank you
know.
so
That,
much.
that,
Oh yeah, my daughter-in-law made it up. Growing Impact Publications. I.M.P.A.C.T stands for Important Messages for Parents and Children Together. That's those are that's the acronym for impact, which I think is beautiful. And she was a preschool teacher, and my son is a first grade teacher, so they love dealing with children, and they go around spreading the messages everywhere. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did notice that on the website with Impact. I did notice that.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I did notice that. So, what's next for you? Are you working on other projects? Are there more books on the table that will be released in
Yes.
2025?
More books are coming out. We even have a safety book that's a board book for the youngest children to protect them from abuse. Abuse is what puts covers on the soul. And the more children we can protect from abuse, the better. Um, so yeah, so that's something that we're working on. We're working on animations. We're working on read aloud books too. The books are audio books as well now, thanks to my children. So it's really been a joy to just expand and grow the impact. Yeah, grow
Yeah,
the
yeah,
impact
yeah.
and grow the gratitude. That's it. Just it helps my soul to shine as more and more other souls we're helping to shine.
Yeah. And I just want to say, abuse is not only physical, it's also emotional abuse, psychological abuse.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
different type of abuses
Yes.
now. 20, 30 years ago, yeah,
Yes.
when you see the word abuse, it was physical abuse. But now people get abused psychologically, emotionally. Kids are getting bullied at school, psychological, emotionally. It's
Yes.
leading to suicide, attempted suicide.
Yes,
So
and in
I'm
fact,
glad.
right, and when I said, right, one of my books is about learning disabilities because children with learning disabilities or any type of disability, physical disabilities, are usually the loneliest children. So this book is called Let's Appreciate Everyone, helps children know how to be more interactive and more inclusive of those that have any kind of disability. So, because sometimes children just don't even know what to do. So, I'm explaining in the book basic skills of how to be more effective and interactive with children. Right? Children who
And
get bullied and things like that. That's what we're trying to prevent. Right?
yeah, nice. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just like for children, just to be kind to each other,
Exactly.
and be kind to a child who has any form of, disability. Kindness will
Yes.
really take you a long way. Sometimes in the moment, even with adults, there'll be a moment where you can practice kindness, but your brain automatically tells you, okay, what's in it for me? Like, what am I going to get out of this? But 10 years down the line, you will actually see why you did that 10 years ago and how far it's actually brought you. So, a message, to children, to adults is just always practice kindness,
Yes.
no matter what, no matter what.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. When I went onto your website, Grown Impact Publications, you also offer 10% off on your first purchase.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes.
So yeah, so listeners can also expect that if they do go onto your website. So to purchase your books is just on the website, or if I go straight to Amazon, can also get it there.
Yes, it's on Amazon and it's in bookstores across America. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, nice. Bracha, thank you so much. You are a wonderful soul, and I
Thank you
appreciate you.
so much. You
I
too.
really,
Thank you.
thank
Really.
you.
I really appreciate it. I knew just from communicating with you what an appreciative and positive person you are. So it's been a great pleasure for me to connect with you. Thank you.
Yeah, same. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy how the universe works. Like, I mean, this is us communicating virtually, but you can pick up, when a person has like an extremely awesome aura, by
Yes.
communicating, being in contact, smiling, and just having an awesome organic conversation as two humans who want to make an impact in the world. And I'm
Yes.
grateful for the impact that you are making. And now it's my job, to share that with the world, share your
Thank you.
message with the world, because I believe in it. I believe in you. I believe in your work, and I can see and I know for a fact, based on how I view the world, on my own research, what your work can do to so many children across the globe. So thank you. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you
And I
so
wish you
much.
all the best moving forward, all the best to you and your children as well. And
Thank you.
keep it
Same
up.
to you.
Keep it up.
You
Thank you so
too.
much, Roger. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. God bless you and all the
God
best.
bless.
And yeah, let's see where this goes from here. As I tell all the guests before they go, you never know when we are going to run into each other again. Raka, please
God-
enjoy the rest of your day. All the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.